Hello, everybody. It's KickAss Kylie, and I hope that you are having a super smiley, sensational Sunday or Saturday, wherever in the world that you are based. So if you're here, say g'day, let me know where you're dialing in from, and give me a hashtag live or a hashtag replay. So guys, as you know, I have been going live each day and sharing the success secrets and teaching you how to scale your business, whether you be a solopreneur, a network marketer, or a SME, a small business entrepreneur. Building your business on social media can sometimes feel really overwhelming, and it can be really frustrating because all you're getting is crickets and you're putting all of this time and effort in and you're getting no results. So we have a 21-day series that I'm coming to you each day with little bite-sized chunks, step by step. And today is step 4, which is all about building relationships online, because people buy from people who they know, love, and trust. So if you miss this step, essentially what's going to happen is nobody's going to buy from you. And I don't care what business that you're in. If no one buys from you, if you don't have any sales, guess what? You don't have a business, right? So it's super, super important that we invest in this step and we understand how to build relationships online. Now, some might say it's different building online to offline, and I'm going to disagree. I actually think it's exactly the same. And the best way for you to build relationships online is exactly what I'm doing now. It's doing videos, because videos are the next best thing to belly, and videos allow people to get to know you. They allow you to be able to speak to serve versus being salesy and spammy. Like, that's the biggest mistake that people make when it comes to, online marketing and building their businesses online. They're like fire hosing their people with 1,000 posts about their business and their opportunity, instead of actually serving and looking at, who is my niche? What's their painful problem? And as an expert in my genius zone, how can I add value and actually serve my niche? Because when you show up and serve your niche, then the sales will automatically come. So it's super, super important. And, I know I've shared this with you guys before. When I was a little girl, I made a Girl Guide promise to do my best and help other people. And I love that we can do this. And, part of building relationships online is actually knowing who you are and what you stand for, because you're going to attract people into your tribe who are in alignment with that. Because you don't want to build relationships with everyone online. You just want to build relationships with your niche. And we've already done a few sessions in this series already. We've talked about marketing mindset. We've talked about branding you. Last session was nailing your niche. So you should know who it is that you serve. You should know what their painful problem is. And as the expert, you should know how you can add value to the people that you serve. So the next step is then, well, how do we build relationships online? So what I'm going to share with you today is a 4-step sales process. Now, I have taught sales to business owners, to gym managers, to membership consultants, to sales reps for, goodness, a gazillion years, because, can you see the grays? That's how old I am. For a long time. So I know sales like the back of my hand, but it's not about selling, because the number one thing is about building relationships and actually serving your niche so that they know, love, and trust you. So the first thing, before I go into that 4-step process, is I want to talk about something really important, and that's the relationship bank account. Now, just like a normal bank account, you have debits and credits. Now, when it comes to serving your people online and building relationships online, it's no different. You have positive interactions and you have negative interactions. A positive interaction is an investment or a deposit in your online relationship. A negative interaction is going to be like a withdrawal out of that relationship bank account. Now, if you're one of those people who shows up on social media as a victim, woe is me, and blah, 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 like I'm a victim, I've got this, I'm dealing with that, and all the rants and all the emotional eruptions, well, guess what? They're all going to be emotional withdrawals out of your relationship bank accounts, versus when you show up as a leader and you shine online and you add value and you help solve your niche's painful problems. That's a positive. When you entertain them, when you share something that resonates with them and you make them laugh, that's a positive. That's a deposit. When you share something that adds value, when you share a quick tip, something that gives them an aha moment, something that is like an aspirin to their pain or problem, they are all investments or deposits in that emotional bank account. So that last session where I talked about your niche is so freaking important to building relationships online, because you need to know what it is that you're going to share on social media. And we will talk about this in a future live video, is content creation. But when you know who you serve and you know what their problem is and you know what it is that they want, and you share content that's relevant and you join the conversation that they're already having in their head, and you're actually building that relationship, they're going to come to you anyway, because you're attracting them, because you're serving them, versus when you're showing up as a victim and, fire hosing them, you're just going to drive people away. So I talked about the 4-stage sales process, or the 4 stages to building relationships online. So the first one is the relaxed stage. So when it comes to building relationships, and especially when it comes to building your business, and especially for those of you who are in network marketing is a little bit like dating. You don't ask someone to marry you on the first date. You got to buy them a drink first, smile and wave, get to know them, look at, having that bit of a chit chat, go on a date, stop trying to, ram what it is that you're selling down someone's throat. Like, that is such an amateur rookie move. And if that's you, hey, I'm not betting up on you. I love you. We've all been there. We've all done that. We've all had to start somewhere, but now you want to be a pro, and you want to take a little deep breath, and you just want to take it one step at a time. We don't want to be ramming shit down people's throats. We just want to love people where they're at, and we want to start a conversation. We want to build relationships, and we want to show up because we're a human being social on social media, and we have hearts, and we want to serve our community because we care, because we're a decent human, versus one of those salesy network marketers who's spamming people all over the place. That's not cool. Okay, so what the heck is the relaxed stage? So the relaxed stage is where you're getting to build rapport with someone. You're getting to know them. You're asking questions and having a conversation, just like you're meeting someone at a party or a barbecue or a bar for the first time. So you're not going in to try and sell them. You're actually trying to make a friend first. And that's really important. So many people are like, I got a guy the other day, hilarious. I won't mention names because he's probably watching this video. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm just sorting you to see if I'm going to move you to WhatsApp, or if I'm just like, whoa, back a minute. You just completely lost me, mate. And that's the other thing. Stop talking sales talk to your people. Actually have a conversation and build the relationship with them. Like, don't go into this trying to sell them. Like, that is so sleazy and salesy and blech. And people will smell you a mile off. Like, people aren't stupid. So actually build relationships with people. Be friends with people. Add value to people. And if you feel that what you have is a good fit, that is when they give you permission, that you can actually share it. So when you're in that first stage, the relaxed stage, that's where I like to ask questions and shut up and listen. Zip it, lock it, put it in your pocket, as I used to tell my kids. So you don't want to talk too much about you or yourself. If you're talking, then all you're doing is talking about you. You need to ask questions and listen and make it all about them. Be interested. So you want to be interested in the other person. You want to care about the other person. What's happening in their world? What's going on for them? What are they dealing with? And then we can offer to help them. But we have to understand who they are and what they're dealing with first. So the second stage is what I like to call the dream stage. And the dream stage is actually understanding what's that person's dominant buying motive. Like right now, What's the number one thing that that person is focused on? What's the number one thing that they want right now? And there's actually 5 questions. Like, really, we're pain detectors. Like, we're trying to determine what is their pain or problem, and are we the right person that can help them? And maybe you're not. Like, we can't sell everyone. We can't solve everyone's problems. Maybe you need to refer them to someone else who could help them. You don't have the answer to every single person's problem with whatever it is that you do. So you want to determine what it is that they really want. And there's a really great book. Oops, here it is. It's called, oh, my light's reflecting weirdly. Questions Are the Answers by Alan Pease. Alan Pease is actually a body language expert. He's got a couple of books. He's an amazing guy. He's an Aussie. We love Aussies. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. So Questions Are the Answers is probably one of the best sales books that I've ever read in my life. And I have read this over and over. I've got it on Audible as well. So I listen to it, I read it, and I recommend this to everybody who's getting started in any type of business, because if you're not selling in your business, you're not making money, and then you don't have a business. So Questions Are the Answers. Now, in here, like, you got to read the book or listen to it, but he talks about 5 key questions. So we need to make sure that in any sales process, we're integrating these 5 key questions. So the first one of those is, what is your number one priority? Now, obviously, you're not going to ask it like that, because you're going to have a conversation with people. So out of all of the things that you are working on right now, or out of all of the results that you want to achieve, what's your number one priority? What's the most important one? And then the next layer to that question, like peeling back the layers of the onion. And remember, we're having a normal conversation. We're not being salesy or spammy. We're actually wanting to help this person because we love them and we care about them, because they're a friend on social media. So the next layer is, well, why did you pick that? Like, why is that your number one priority? And it's a genuine inquiry, because we're curious. We're being interested in that person. The next layer, number 3, is, why is that important to you? So, okay, you've picked that. Out of all the things, why did you pick that one? And then layer 3, why is that important to you? And then you've got to remember that people will buy for 2 reasons. They'll buy for pleasure, or they'll buy to avoid pain. Now, out of the 2, which of the 2, pleasure or avoiding pain, which of the 2 do you think is the stronger buying emotion? Like, pop it in the chat. Is it pleasure, or is it to avoid pain? Well, it's to avoid pain, because that's painful, right? So sometimes, especially us mums, we get mum guilt. So the pleasure, especially if it's for us, we feel guilty about that. Whereas if it's to avoid pain, you know, that we like to call it the carrot or the stick. The stick is the stronger buying emotion. So now what we want to do is we want to create some pain, because if someone says, hey, I want this, and they've shared why that's important, well, now we want to create some pain around that. So what are the consequences to not having that? And another way of putting that is, what's the impact of not having that? Or what's the impact of not having that to you and your family, or you and your kids, or you and your partner, or you and your community, or whatever it is, depending on how that conversation goes. Because often people will have goals, but unless we create the pain, and there used to be an ad here in Australia, and it was to sell a spray and wipe product, and they used to have a chicken fillet. And my first job was at Cut Price Deli. Come to the store where your money buys more. I know I'm crazy. You guys know that. Cut Price Deli. And so we were really highly trained in how dangerous chicken fillets were, because if, all the germs and bacteria and stuff, right? So in this ad, they'd get a chicken fillet, and they would wipe down the baby's, what do you call it? The little chairs that they sit in. God, it's been a long time since I've had a baby. High chair. They'd sit in the high chair and they'd rub this chicken fillet, and I would just be going, oh, because I know, like, the germs and bacteria that were involved in the E. coli, right? And then they would have like all these germs and stuff, and then the baby would touch it, and then they'd put their hands on their mouth, and you'd be going, oh, because as a mum, we know how bad that is. So they've actually artificially created the pain in that ad. So we need to discover the art of that in having conversations, but also in building relationships. Because one thing I can tell you, and I've really worked hard on this over, oh my gosh, how long I've been a coach for I coached my first basketball team when I was 13 years of age, and I'm currently 48. So what's 48 minus 13? Do the math. A lot of years, right? I've coached for a long time. And the art of being a really good coach, mentor, or friend is actually having those tough conversations that people are too scared to have. It's asking the questions that people are too scared to ask. That makes you talk about those deposits in that emotional bank account when you can have the courage to ask those questions and help someone move from the space that they're in and actually take action towards their goals or dreams, or to overcome a significant problem or challenge that they're facing. That is a huge investment in the relationship with the person. So you've got to learn how to ask those questions, but in a non-salesy, spammy way, which is basically, I care about you. I'm listening to you. I understand the pain or problem that you're having. And I feel that, this is the way that I can help you move forward. So the dream stage is all about questions. Ask questions, shut up and listen. So we've talked about what's the consequences of not having that, or what's the impact of not having that. And then the last question, number 5, is, does that worry you, and why? And they are going to sell themselves. You just got to shut up and listen. Ask the question, shut up and listen. If I was having a conversation with you, whether it be face-to-face or on Zoom, I'd ask the question, I'd shut up and listen, and then I go, because what am I doing? I'm nodding. I'm listening. The number one thing that people crave more than anything right now is to be heard, to feel important. So many people are so freaking busy going blah, 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 and talking about all their own shit. And hey, I have been guilty of this too, because, as you might know, I kind of like to talk. But when it comes to building relationships, and do this with your partner, when your partner comes home from work or the office or business or whatever, hey, honey, here's a beer or a wine. Tell me about your day, and shut up and listen and be interested. Same with your kids. Oh my goodness, if we actually just asked questions and then shut up and listened, oh my goodness, the world would be a way better place. It's time to start listening and caring about other people. I got on a little bit of a rant there. Okay, so that's stage 2, the dream stage. So once we've asked the questions, we've shut up and we've listened, because we have 2 ears, 1 mouth, we have to use them in that proportion. Now we have an understanding of what they want, what their problem is, where they're stuck, all the things. Now, and only now, do you have permission to go into stage 3, which is the solution stage. So now we can offer a solution, but here's the trick. The trick probably is the wrong word, but I'm going to use that anyway, because it is kind of a trick. If you say something to somebody and you're trying to sell them your product, guess what? If you say it, you're just trying to sell them, and they've got their sales radar on. Versus if you have done your job in stage 1 and 2 of building that know, love, and trust factor, and you've built that rapport, you've actually been interested, you've asked questions, you've shut up and you've listened, and you've understood where they're really at. Now you can actually say things to them, because now we're going to use their words. Because if you use their words, if they said it, it's true. If you said it, then you're just trying to sell them. So that's why you have to shut up and listen. And there is an art in asking the right questions. I love what Tony Robbins says, the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your questions. In sales, the quality of your business is determined by the quality of your questions. So you need to practice asking questions. Here's an exercise for you in relationship building. For a whole day, and if you dare, you could go a whole week or even a whole month. I dare you to just ask questions. You're not allowed to actually say anything. All you're allowed to do is ask questions for a whole day, week, or a month. That exercise is the most powerful exercise in learning how to listen. And listening is the number one skill in building relationships. Now, you might be saying, well, how do you do that online? Because it's all right if it's a conversation. It's the same thing. It's just written. If you're messaging someone, or if you're asking questions through audio messages, or if you're on a Zoom call with someone, same thing. Ask questions, shut up, listen. That's it. And then when you talk, you're sharing back. So Sharon, let me just make sure I got this right. So what you're saying is this, and then you verbatim use their words, because remember, if they said it, it's true. If you say it, you're trying to sell them something. And I promise you, when you use their words straight back to them, they're selling themselves, because they're like, oh my gosh, you get me. You've heard me. You've listened to me. You understand me. Like, talk about investments or deposits in that relationship bank account. Are you following me? If you're getting some value, smash the heart button and give me a hashtag value. Like, honestly, listening, if I can't say this enough, listening is the number one skill when it comes to building relationships, online or in person. Oh, okay. Step 4, the final stage, is the closing stage. So, sorry, did I do the, let me come back to the solution stage. I think I skipped part of the solution stage. So obviously, if you say it, you're selling them. If they say it, it's true. But this is where you actually get to offer them your solution, which is your product or service. And ideally, you want to use a tool to share that. So don't be a tool, use the tool. Big shout out to my beautiful badass friend, Bryn Lang, from across the other side of the world. She taught me that. Don't be a tool, use a tool, point to a tool. Have a sales video, have a product video that you can share, especially if you're in network marketing, because then people can actually use that tool to share with their people versus having to, try and figure it out and explain it themselves, because that won't work. So with our business, so in our travel club, we have a little 5-minute video. And so we literally just share a video with someone. And so then we go into step 4, or stage 4, which is the close stage. And then you're just going to ask them a question to ask for the sale. And we'll talk about sales throughout this series. But the number one reason why most people don't get started with you is because you don't ask them a closing question. It's actually that simple. So we actually need to ask them for the sale. We need to ask them to take action. So we're basically going to say to you, so which option suits you best? Or are you ready to get started? Or in our case, are you more interested in the travel, the business, or both? Great. Are you ready to get started straight away? Or which pack would you like the best? Would you like the Globetrotter, or would you like the Jet Setter? Would you like the Platinum membership or the Priority membership? Or would you like the Standard membership? It's so simple. Now, sometimes they're going to have objections. Oh, it's not time to have a meltdown. That's just a request for more information. So if you've been doing what you've been doing for a while, just get their questions answered and then reclose them. Are you ready to get started? Does that answer your questions? Awesome. Are you ready to get going? Shall we get this party started? One of my favorite questions. If you're brand new in what you do, that's where you want to call in a third party. So you bring in somebody else, and you have to build the relationship. You got to build that person up. You have to do what we call edify that person. Hey, this is Jeff Ross. I've known Jeff Ross for 15 years. He's one of my best friends. He's my business partner. He's an amazing husband. He's an amazing dad, the king of dad jokes. He's the online tech nerd. But I brought him in today because, and you're going to qualify him to be able to answer their questions. So now, because you've edified that person, they're going to listen to what that person has to say. But when you've edified someone else and you've brought in a third party, zip it, lock it, put it in your pocket. That's where it's time for you to now shut up. You've edified, you've handed over the baton in this relay, and it's time for your upline leader or third party expert to go to work for you. So guys, it's super simple. So that is a really quick overview of how to build relationships online. So you have some action from this video. So first of all, I want you to do a bit of a reflection. This will take you like 5 minutes in total. And I want you to look at your relationship bank account online. Are you adding credits, or are you taking away debits from your relationship bank account with clients? Are you getting back to people? Are you answering their messages? When you post and people actually comment, are you sending them a message and thanking them and starting to build a relationship? If not, maybe you got some work to do. The relaxed stage. Are you building rapport with your dream clients? Is the communication all about them or is it all about you? Are you being relatable? And then the next part is the dream stage. Are you asking questions in a way that creates curiosity and actually allows you to build your dream, actually allows you to understand your dream client's needs and what they're looking for? Or are you too busy talking about yourself and trying to sell them your product or opportunity? Like, stop it. Until you know exactly what their biggest painful problem is, you are not allowed to sell. You are not allowed to offer any solution because you don't know what they need yet. That's super important. Okay, now we know what their buying motive is. Solution stage. Is it still all about your dream client? Are you speaking their language? Are you using their words? And are you showing them how you can add value and help them to transform from that ugly caterpillar with that painful problem to that beautiful butterfly having the exact transformation, desire, goals, results that they actually want, and that you become the cocoon or the solution to take them from caterpillar to butterfly. And then lastly, the close stage. Are you actually closing? Are you asking the closing question? What are your closing questions? If you don't have any closing questions, well, you kind of need to create those pretty quickly because that becomes part of your system. It becomes part of your relationship building system. Because here's what I can tell you. A lot of people freak out about sales. They don't want to be salesy. The number one thing with salespeople is they help people get results. People want to spend money. People want to spend money in areas that are going to give them what they want or help them overcome their painful problem. Like, I want you to think right now, what's your biggest problem right now? What's your biggest pain right now? If you have enough courage, feel free to share that in the comments or send me a private message. Let me know, what is your biggest painful problem right now? Have the courage, be vulnerable. Because you know what? When you share a problem, 1 + 1 = infinity. You share that with someone who can actually help be part of the solution. Like, what would it mean for me to be able to help you solve your biggest problem right now? Most people would pay thousands of dollars because they've been stuck in whatever that painful problem is, because if they knew how to break through that, they would have already done it, but they don't know. And that's why it's so important for you to know how to build relationships online so you can help them get from where they are, that painful problem, ugly caterpillar state, to, staying up at night, stressing, worrying, drinking too much wine, sitting on the floor, crying their eyes out, eating the ice cream straight out of the tub, right? Follow these steps, know how to add value, know how to build a relationship with someone. You solve their problem, they're going to freaking love you. And they're going to refer so many people to them. This stuff is basic. It's like relationship 101, but most people aren't doing it. And it drives me insane because they're too busy sending fucking links and spamming people saying, join my thing. Anyway, breathe. I get a little bit passionate about this. I hope that this has added some value for you today. I was actually just going to say what my video for tomorrow for step 5 was going to be, but I actually don't know because I don't have it open. I really should know what my next one is. We are in the foundations of building relationships. So essentially, this is a 21-day series teaching you step by step how to scale your business on social media without being salesy and spammy. So please let me know in the comments, what was your biggest aha moment today? I hope that I've added value to you. And I just want you to win. You know what? Business is not rocket science, but most people just don't know what they don't know. I get it. I was once a doofus that had no freaking clue what I was doing as well. And I plugged in with my mentors. I spent a gazillion hours making mistakes. I also spent a gazillion hours attending courses and programs and things to actually get better, because you'll either get better or bitter. And I want you to make a commitment right now that you're going to get better. Like, especially in the network marketing profession, like, oh my gosh, we have such a freaking awesome industry where we get to, like, we literally make money from helping people make their dreams come true. We get paid to help people achieve their goals. That is pretty freaking cool, right? Does it get any better than that? Like, for me, I made a promise to help other people, to do my best and help other people. And I absolutely love that that's what we get to do. So guys, if I have added some value for you today, please give me a hashtag value. Let me know what your biggest aha moment was. Let me know what action you're taking on, because that's the next thing. It's one thing to watch these videos. I want you to be in action and actually implement this stuff, because it's not knowledge, it's applied knowledge that's going to help you move forward in your business and scale your business on social media. So guys, I cannot wait to see you on tomorrow's video, number 5, step number 5, whatever that is. And look, I'm the Crazy Mermaid. It's Sunday. And actually, a huge shout out real quick to Category 5, my daughter's band. I'm so freaking proud of them. They just played in the Airlie Beach Festival of Music yesterday and today. And oh my gosh, they were amazing. So look up Category 5, check out on my profile somewhere. There'll be some posts, like their page, check out their music videos. They're 4 kids. They're absolutely amazing. Declan on guitar is only 11. Oh my gosh, like, he is insanely amazing. Liam on the drums, my daughter Leo on bass guitar, and Amber is the lead singer. And they crushed it today. Talk about proud mum moment. So make sure you also look up Category 5. I'll pop I'll put their their Facebook page in the comments below so you can like it. And their music is really freaking good. And I'm not just saying that because I'm their mum, like, oh, Leo's mum, not all of their mum. Feel like the band mum. Their stuff's really amazing. All right, guys. And please also make sure that you like, subscribe, follow, so that you get all of the videos in this series. All right, have an amazing weekend. My wish for you is that life is everything you've ever dreamed of, multiplied by infinity, because you, your family, your dreams and your goals are all absolutely worth it. Let's go kick ass online, and I'll see you on the next video tomorrow.